clever cakes and other stories. Cherry Berry. Cherry Berry lived with her dad. Her mum had died some time before, and ever since then things hadn't gone very well. Dad had changed. He had become sad and hopeless and didn't look after her properly. He went out at night, leaving her all alone in the house. Cherry Berry missed her mum and wanted her to come alive again. She kept a picture of her by the side of her bed, and she always remembered something that her mother had told her. One is weak, many are strong. She wasn't sure she knew what it meant, but she liked the sound of it. One night her dad was out playing cards with his friends in a little house at the edge of town. This night, like most nights, he was losing. Try as he might, he couldn't win, and he was losing money again and again. He kept saying to himself, if I could win just once, I'd go home. If only I could win just once. That's all I ask. Then, faster than it takes to swallow a baked bean, a little knobbly man put his head round the corner and said to Cherry Berry's dad, you can win all the money you want if you do something for me. And what is it I have to do for you? You must give me the first thing you speak of when you get home, said the little knobbly man. Well, that's easily done, said Cherry Berry's dad. He thought how he could walk in at home and say, "Ooh, I fancy a nice fresh slice of bread," or "Are we short of carrots?" And then he could give the little knobbly man a slice of bread or some carrots. "Yes," said Cherry Berry's dad. "Now, let's get on with the game. I want to win." So Cherry Berry's dad sat down at the table, and sure enough, he won. And he went on winning, till the others wouldn't play any more. Now he had more money in his hands than he had seen in years, and he went home a happy man. "Cherry Berry," her dad called out, "we've got money, my girl, we've got money, no more worries." The moment he said it, he clapped his hand over his mouth, but it was too late to stop the word coming out. He had said it now. "What's the matter?" said Cherry Berry. She was well used to his strange and reckless ways. "Is something wrong?" "Yes," said her dad. "I've done something terrible. A little knobbly man said he could help me win at cards if I gave him the first thing I spoke of when I got home. And the first thing I said was, your name, Cherry Berry." "I'll have to think of something," said Cherry Berry, and she took herself to bed. In the morning, Cherry Berry said to her father, "Tell the little knobbly man that the first thing you spoke of was Cherry Berry. It's a girl, and she'll be coming in a red dress." So off went Cherry Berry's dad to the little house at the edge of town, and he called out, Little man, where are you?" And a voice came from the house. "I'm here. What will you bring me?" "Cherry Berry," said Cherry Berry's dad. "And how will I know this Cherry Berry?" "She's a girl, and she'll be wearing a red dress." Meanwhile, Cherry Berry went off to school to find her friends. "Listen," she said, "you've got to help me. When morning school's over, run home, change into red dresses, and come with me to the edge of town." And that's what they did. Just before 12 o'clock, a long line of girls in red dresses made their way to the house at the edge of town. Suddenly, the little knobbly man appeared and said, "Where's Cherry Berry?" "I'm Cherry Berry," said the first girl. "I'm Cherry Berry," said the second girl. "I'm Cherry Berry," said the third girl, and so on, through all the girls. "Bah!" shouted the little knobbly man. He rushed away shouting, "You won't get away with this! You won't get away with this!" Cherry Berry went home, and when her dad got in later, he was delighted to see her. "Listen, Dad," said Cherry Berry, "you may see the little knobbly man again. If you do, tell him I'll come and I'll be wearing a white dress." Oh no, said her dad. "I'm not going back there again. I'm staying here to look after you." But that night, after Cherryberry had gone to bed, once again he went off to play cards with his friends in the little house at the edge of town. But no sooner had he sat down at the table to play than out popped the little knobbly man. "Why did you play that trick on me?" he shouted. "Well, I did just as you told me to," said Cherryberry's dad. "Make sure she comes tomorrow," said the little knobbly man. "How will I know it's her?" She'll be wearing a white dress," said Cherryberry's dad. "And she'd better be, or you'll be struck down dead." In the morning, Cherryberry's dad had to tell her what had happened. So later, Cherryberry and her friends made their way to the edge of town, dressed in white. Out came the little knobbly man again. "Who's Cherryberry?" "I'm Cherryberry," said the first girl. "I'm Cherryberry," said the second girl. "I'm Cherryberry," said the third girl, and so on, through all the girls. The little knobbly man roared with anger. "You won't get away with this!" he said. "You won't get away with this!" and disappeared. Cherryberry went home, and when her dad got in, he was delighted to see her. "Listen, Dad," said Cherryberry, "you may see the little knobbly man again. If you do, tell him I'll be wearing a black dress." "Oh, no." "Oh, no," said her dad. "I'm not going back there again. I'm staying here to look after you." But that night, after Cherryberry had gone to bed, once again he went off to play cards with his friends in the little house at the edge of town. No sooner had he sat down at the table to play than out popped the little knobbly man. "Why did you play that trick on me?" he shouted. I did just as you told me to," said Cherryberry's dad. "Make sure she comes tomorrow," said the little knobbly man. "How will I know it's her?" "She'll be wearing a black dress," said Cherryberry's dad. "And she had better be, or your house will fall down with you in it." In the morning, Cherryberry's dad had to tell Cherryberry what had happened. But this time, Cherryberry and her friends didn't go to the house at the edge of town. The little knobbly man waited and waited for her there, and when she didn't come, he rushed down the road with a face like thunder. "They won't get away with this!" he shrieked, and when he got to Cherryberry's house, he shouted, "Come out! Come out! I want what was promised me!" But there was no answer. "Right! I'm coming in!" And in he rushed. But Cherryberry and her friends had opened the door in the floor that led down to the cellar. In rushed the little knobbly man, and down he fell into the cellar, and Cherryberry slammed the door shut after him. The little knobbly man was locked tight in the cellar down below. "Let me out! Let me out!" shouted the little knobbly man. "Oh, no," said Cherryberry. "Not you, nor anyone like you." When her dad came home later, he was delighted to see her. "I didn't go to the little knobbly man this time, Dad," she said. "And what happened?" "He came here. He was angry because he couldn't have what you promised him." "So then what happened?" "Well, I was angry because you promised him something you never should have promised." "So?" "He's in the cellar." "How did he get there?" "We put him there." So Cherryberry and her dad collected up all their things and ran out of the house. The last thing they heard was the little knobbly man shouting, "Right! Your house will fall down with you in it." There was a crack and a rumble and a roar. The house fell down, and no one ever saw the little knobbly man again. "Now," said Cherryberry, "we can go somewhere else to live and start a new life there." "You're right," said her father, and he promised he'd never go back to the little house at the edge of the town again. And he didn't. Cherryberry and her father lived together happily in their new home, and Cherryberry would often look at the picture of her mother by the side of her bed and think of her mother's old saying, "One is weak, many are strong."
Now, it would be great if you subscribed. That is, you become a subscriber. Look out for the subscribe button. What happens, you see, is that I make new vids every few months, and then I post them up one a week for a while. So if you subscribe, you get to see the new ones just as they come hot off the press. Eeeew.